as I was explaining about the fertigation process control settings. So let's look into the settings, how the settings works here, how to do settings, and what kind of operation modes available here, and how to set them, and how to control in fine way. So let's see here. So this is a basic operational mode switch here. So we have three modes available on this controller. So one is bypass mode, one is manual mode, one is auto mode. So these are three modes available. So by automatic mode is our general mode. So we regularly run the machine in automatic mode. Once the settings are done, then we keep this machine in automatic mode and we start here, it goes automatically. That way it works. So manual mode is just for switching your components, valves and dosing valves and field valves and pumps to switch manually. And bypass mode is, I think nobody is giving this bypass mode on their controllers. Actually, we are giving this one because we got some feedback from our customers and the field experience. So if something goes bad with the machine, I mean the controller, some electronics, something is not working okay, then so the customer is helpless. So till we reach and to rectify the issue, so he's sitting idle and he cannot irrigate his crop. So in that case, we have given a feature in bypass mode. So when the machine is not working in automatic mode or manual mode, still you can use a bypass mode to switch the pumps and dosing valves and field valves also. So when you switch here, the pumps, the process pump and your sump pump also can be switched here, and the dosing valves can be switched here. And you need to monitor a little closely to control your EC page, because it's more or less like a manual process. Since worst case you are still doing to control your process. So you need to monitor closely EC page and you need to regulate your valves in that case. So, but the field valves has to be operated manually. So you have to go into you have to walk to the field and you need to change the valve mode to manual mode. Then water goes to the crop. So that way, so you can manage for a day or a couple of days till the machine gets rectified. So that is the purpose of keeping the bypass mode. The bypass mode works for kind of a worst case scenario. When you get the situation is bad, so that kind of situation, you can use the bypass mode to switch your dosing valves and pumps. And okay, anyway, you need to walk to the field and you need to switch the valves manual mode, and then you need to irrigate and fertigate for all the crops. So that has to be managed for a couple of days or one day till machine gets rectified. That is the purpose of the bypass mode. And auto mode is kind of a general mode, but bypass mode I have not seen anybody using bypass mode as of now. So almost for 4.5 years, so I have not seen anybody using bypass mode. But okay, it's a kind of a feature and okay, kind of a safeguard we have given bypass mode. And these are all the switches, so you can switch in bypass mode. So pumps can be switched, valves can be switched. And when you come to the screen settings, this is the screen. So kind of a smart phone. How do you operate the touch screen? This is same touch screen. This is a basic control view. So kind of your nutrient tanks and plants kind of valves shown here, and your sump pump is shown here, and the menus. So menus, irrigation menu and alarms menu and historical data menu. These menus are available on main screen. When you go to irrigation, so you have this display. This display shows your operational mode, time mode or volume mode. So both modes are available to process your field valves at a desired EC pH. So if you choose time mode, so it works on time mode. If you choose volume mode, it works on volume mode. So whatever the mode you choose, that mode displays here, and the time. So how much duration has been selected. So that is 420 seconds. That's what here they selected. And okay, so suppose if you set for volume, that the volume comes here. So what kind of program you're running, which program you're running, the program number also displays here. And working valves also you can see here. Working valves display status you can see here. And the pH set and present you can see here. EC set and present you can see here. And EC valve selections you can see here. When you have a multiple tanks, dosing tanks, I mean fertilizer tanks, those you can combine them and you can run. Suppose if you have a 5 dosing tanks, I mean 5 nutrient tanks, you can, if you want to run, so 1 2 3 or 2 3 5 or 1 2 3 4, that those combinations can be selected. And those numbered. When you select those combinations, the machine gives one number. That particular number will come here. So you have to take care of that one. So this is a basic thing. And okay, if you have a multiple nutrient tanks, you can still select which tank you want to run, which tanks you don't want to run. So these are the master settings that you can choose, and you can suppose somebody wants to run A, B, so that is fine, it works A, B. Suppose if they don't want to run A, so they want to run B, in that case you can disable this one, disable. So enable, enable. So it works for all, only the whatever the tanks are enabled, those tanks only works for the process. So when you disable here, suppose if you enable here for all the process, it works for all the process. That way you can avail this feature. Okay, when you go into the next settings, irrigation settings, and manual operations, schedule settings are available here. The manual operation comes like the field valves operation. So you can switch here the field valve 1, field valve 2, on, off, and even your pH, you can hear the sound, dosing valve sound. So EC4, EC1, pump 2, pump 2. So pump 1, it's in sump, you cannot hear the sound. Okay, pump 3, that is for other purpose we have given. So that way you can switch all the components in manual mode. That is for testing purpose, troubleshooting purpose. It really helps a lot. So when you go for the next menu, irrigation settings. In the irrigation settings, this is kind of a safety control. Suppose when authorized person can run the machine, that is the only possible to run with him only. So somebody, other guy comes and okay, if he disturbs something settings, and okay, it's a lot of nonsense. So that's what we have given a user level control. So here we have given a control. You have user ID and password we have given. So something they have given here. So that is user ID and password, something you can use it, some. So you can go and you can get the settings here. So when you have that password, then only you get the settings accessibility here. So otherwise you don't get the accessibility. So it's a kind of a safety purpose. So the new guys just come and they do something wrong with the machine, and okay, when the process is already gone, then okay, then it's just a kind of a nonsense. So something wrong with the process, again it's a hectic. So that's what to safeguard those things. So we have given a user level control. So when you have a right password, then only, the authorized person can only do the settings here. So this is the program setting screen. So when you see here, if you see here, so recipe is nothing but a program. So programs we have given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we have still more. I think 15 programs we have, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 programs we have. You can set each program. So I don't think all these programs people are using. I think a couple of programs are good enough to use to meet your crop requirement. So I'll just set one. I'll just show one program how to set. This is a program number 1, recipe number 1. So you can set the time or volume mode. You can see here. Now it changed to volume mode. It was in time mode, and now it's again back to time mode. So that volume mode or time mode you can set while doing your settings. And if you set time, so you need to set the duration, how long it needs to run. And okay, suppose if you set volume, and you need to set the volume here, how many liters it needs to run, and pH, how enable or disable. So this is given kind of a option. Suppose when you run irrigation, that time also, so you can enable pH. Somebody wants to correct the raw water pH also, that time. So you need to, if you can enable this one, so with only water it can correct your pH also. So when you do fertigation, so it should be enabled. So in that case, so pH we should enable. So you can enable here, it's on. And of course EC, so EC, the number is given here. The number, as I told earlier, so EC number is 12. What this number says here, you see, it's kind of a combination of tanks, which nutrient tanks are combined here. So let's go recipe help here. So you see here EC1, EC2, no, EC3, EC4, no, EC2, no, which one, here, which one is that? 12. EC1, EC3. Yeah, EC4 and EC3. EC4 and EC3 is 12. So this number has to be fed in the EC selection column. So this is a recipe help. So the combination, it gives a number. You can select a desired combination of nutrient tanks which needs to be worked. Okay. So EC3 and EC4. I mean, okay, some A2, B2 or something like that, or A1, B1 or something, or A3 or A4 or A1, A3. Different combinations can be worked out here. So you can combine whatever the desired requirement. Okay. So irrigation settings, you can see the number here. So EC3, EC4 will switch here with this number. Okay. So if you change the number, different combination of tanks will get switched here. So that way it works here. And the pH set value is 5.5. You have to set the pH set value. So this is pH SV means set value. Set value is given here 5.8. You can give it any set value 0 to 14. Okay. EC set value is 4, that is given. So okay, you can set from maybe 0 to some 10. We have a range here 0 to 20 millisiemens. You can set maximum. People go from 1 to 3 or 4, something like that. So generally for soilless crops maybe they go a little higher, but okay, soil based crops generally less than 2 or 1.5 to 2, in between something. So you can set depends on your crop requirement. If it is young plant, you can set lower. If it is in growing stage, you can set a little more. If it is yielding phase, maybe whatever agronomist says to set, you can set that value. So that is one setting, the program setting. That is program 1. Those are the settings. So time and time duration and pH enable or disable or EC selection, which tanks needs to be switched, and pH, what is the pH to be controlled, what is the value to be controlled, and the EC set value, what needs to be controlled at which level. So that is the setting. And if you come to the next program, you can set the same settings or different settings for different valve. And this is again number 3 program. You can set different settings, different EC pH, different time duration, different volumes. You can set it. And okay, these programs can be linked with the different valves that you can see here in the next page. When you come here, so irrigation settings, when you see here schedule settings, in the schedule settings, so you can link the programs with the different valves. We have set program number 1. This is recipe number 1. I mean, we have given schedule 1. In the schedule 1, we have selected number 2, valve number 2 and valve number 4. So these are the valves to be operated with which program? With program number 1. So program number 1 got a different EC set value, different pH set value, different duration. So that works for these 2 valves. Okay, when supposed to start? The start time is this one and the end time is this one. The complete schedules will start at just for example, they are given 2:30 something, and they end up with 3:15 or something. So within 45 minutes they are ending up. So you can set from 24 hours format. You can set from starting time and end time. So in between this start time and end time, so all schedules will go on. So that way, so once the schedule is schedule 1 is done, so then there is an interval. So you can set here 2 hours or 1 hour, 30 minutes, whatever the interval. Once the schedule 1 is finished, then it waits for the interval time, then it goes for schedule 2, then it finishes the schedule 2 again with a different program. You can set also different program with the different valves here, schedule 2. And the same valves can be run with a different recipe. So you can choose whatever you want. So that again, there is an interval time to the next schedule. So after finishing, that's the interval time. I mean, here 1 minute they have given. So I mean, okay, 1 after 1. So if you want to give a much more time, I mean 30 minutes or 40 minutes, you can give it here, no problem. So you can set here. It can come here, you can choose here. So that way you can set here. The next schedule 3 it goes. So after finishing the intervals. So that way, so we have 5 schedules here that will keep on moving one after one. So this is for 1 day. Sunday to Monday we have I think 5 schedules. So each schedule it can be linked with different recipes and different valves that can be done. So you see we have 5-6 lines here. So each line can be set. I mean, it can be set 2 valves that can be done, and a recipe program can be set, 1 or 2 or 3 programs, whatever, you can link with that one. That way, so every day you can run the schedule, so you don't need to touch all the times week through. So if you set once, and it goes on, weekly schedules are available. Okay, that is about settings. And the recipe settings I have given already, I have explained already. So those recipes will help to link with your valves which needs to be run. Okay, now we go back. We have finished the irrigation settings, and of course schedule settings also, manual operations also we have done. The display setting, I mean display parameters, what we have the status here, current status that we have gone through. And if you come to the main screen, here the alarms are available here. So now you see the high level, and so the tank is on high level. So that kind of alarms you can get all the signals. So if the tank is low level, you can get the low level. If it is high level, you can get the high level. So now that if the tank is high level, then your sump pump is switch off, so it won't work because the tank is high. If it keep on working, then it overflows. That's what we have taken this safety. Now the tank level is high, so your pump is switching off now. So let it go down, and okay, if it is come to little, I mean a medium level, then again pump will get start. That way it works actually. If any can, oh shit, pause. Okay, so these alarm screens, it says different statuses like low level, high level, pump is overloaded, and the pressure is high, pressure is low, EC is high, EC is low. All the alarms it can give you. This alarm screen helps you to troubleshoot and to pay more attention. So what is going on, what's wrong, and how to resolve it, to troubleshoot the process and the components and the working process. So it helps a lot. So this is finished. Now we go to main screen, historical data. So this historical data, this gives your EC and pH and what valves were run yesterday or okay just before, so a couple of days ago or 1 month ago. So the complete log is possible here. You can log your complete data. So field valves 1, field status comes here, field valves under which program was run, and what was the pH set value, what was the pH set actual value, and what was the yeast set value, what was the actual value. Those things can be seen here, and the time and date can be seen, date wise and time wise. You can log the data completely. You can also log this data through your USB, and you can also connect to your computer. It can be accessed through the computer, and this controller can be monitored and controlled on remote basis also. So when you are off site, I mean you are not at your farm, so you are somewhere out, okay, you have a smartphone and you want to control the machine, you want to check what is going on and what kind of process is going on, is correct or wrong or something. So you can connect to the machine, you can check, and you can control also whatever you are doing on site. You can also do the same thing on off site. Okay, so that way, so it's quite easy to access, and okay, more easy and to monitor and control. So the complete alarms and complete settings, complete process readings, all things you can access on remote. That is fine. This is all about the fertigation control and settings, and we are integrating all kind of a climate control systems and NFTs, DWC, and even your aeroponics, aquaponics, the complete things we are integrating in the same control. We don't need to make too many controls piece job, and we can integrate all the customer needs at one station, that is one controller, that is integrated controller. So this works, this can be expanded to any valves. I mean maybe 100 valves, you can expand it to this one. So now this is able to control 20 valves as per the customer requirement. Suppose the customer wants to go for further expansion, you don't need to change anything. He has to add the modules, you can link it, so you can go on further requirement also with a little additional cost comes for the further expansion requirements. That's it. The basic ECPH and tanks and nutrient tanks all will be the same, remain same, so there won't be any cost coming up. So only for expansion we just need to add the modules to control the field valves, and we just need to bring down the cables, and okay, the valves, we need to install the valves. That's it. The job is done. So that way it's quite commercially very competitive machine, and of course everything is available in India. So we are making completely indigenous. We are not importing anything. All parts are available in India itself. Any kind of city, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Vijayawada, Coimbatore, kind of Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, so anywhere you can buy the parts. We use Siemens and of course ABB, L&T, this kind of control switches we use, and okay, of course the screens are very regularly available in the market. Even the screen and the PLC, the modules, all are regular stock is available with kind of distributors. We buy at any moment of time. We don't need to buy and keep the spare for a long time. Suppose we are not using that and we're keeping a long time, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, the parts are available in the market. You can buy in an hour or in a day maximum. So there's nothing to worry about the parts and the spare parts. So I mean, suppose so if you buy some kind of a imported controllers or whatever, suppose those controls will come with some kind of a proprietary kind of a modules, so kind of a microprocessor modules or whatever, the wall fill modules or different modules. So you cannot get those modules in our market. So you need to go to them. You need to buy from them only. So when you buy them, when you get here, when you install here, how long it takes? It's a kind of a I mean, it's a big process, of course. Machines are quite good, but I'm not saying anything about it. Machines are quite good, but okay, it takes a lot of time to rectify it. Unless you keep a spare, so you cannot rectify the machine within a controlled period. I mean, within an hour, maybe within a day or a couple of days, you cannot rectify it. So that way, so this is much easy, and it helps a lot actually, because we have used all kind of a local parts. I mean, local parts means kind of Siemens, ABB. These are kind of a standard brand components we use here, where you get in the local market. Local market, any city market, you can get local parts, and it's available. You can buy at any moment, or you can ask our help. We always available on phone, or you can come visit in a day. If it is close to us, we can come in an hour, or okay, half day or one day. So if it is far, okay, we can reach next day and we can help you, no problem. But okay, but I don't think any need that way. We don't need to visit all the times on the site. So you can call us on phone. So maybe that is good enough to get the situation under control. So we can buy the parts and we can put ourselves. So there's nothing to do in big process like kind of importing or exporting something, whatever. Okay. The other way, suppose if anybody wants to have kind of any technical information or any kind of confusions, or okay, how the process controls happen, okay, if any kind of clarifications, if any additional more controls involvement, you can discuss with me, and you can take me on phone. My phone number is here. It's a 9591533384, and my email ID is microagrisolutions@gmail.com, and my mobile number is 9591533384, and my email ID is microagrisolutions@gmail.com. You can call me at any moment. You can discuss with me for any kind of requirement. So more or less what we are